And yet they still have one number, 7, Elway, and that keeps them close.
And the other magic number for John Elway is 2 minutes. Either at the end of the half or the game, he comes up with a big play, scores tied 7-7. I mean, Denver's not played well, and they're okay. They've not done much, but they're fine.
And they get the ball with some momentum after that drive by Elway. Carney roots it right through the end zone. Alton Montgomery lets it fly through. It'll be a touchback at the 20-yard line. Just to clarify that rule involving the fumble at the end of the half, Ronnie Harmon, a player inside 2 minutes on 4th down, as long as it's not an intentional forward fumble, can recover his own fumble and advance it. And it's the ruling, the argument by Reeves may have been that he intentionally did that, and the officials saw it otherwise, and that's why San Diego got that first down off the Harmon fumble.
I stand corrected.
See if that magic carries over for Elway and Denver. Little draw to Gaston Green for 3 yards. San Diego defense, despite the fact that they do not have their top pass rusher, Leslie O'Neal, they do have Junior Seau, his return after missing the Indianapolis game. Thornton and Seau make that last stop.
San Diego and Arnsparger in the first half moved this defense around, changed personnel, changed looks, all kinds of stuff to really confuse Denver's offense.
We have Steve Hendrickson now playing at a defensive end. Hendrickson, 34. And it's the same call, and Green close to a first down, tackled at the 29. Steve Hendrickson, he wore 56 with San Francisco as a 6th-round draft pick, and came down here to San Diego, and he saw 34 in his locker. He said, uh-oh,
they cut me. And then the coach comes up and says, no. We want you to move to offense. Here he is playing defense. I mean, he doesn't know what to do or where to go, but the rocket head adjusts.
He can play halfback, H-back, running back, defensive linebacker, defensive end, academic All-America. He said, I may be not smart, but I'm not crazy. Or maybe I'm crazy, I'm just not dumb. If you can follow the logic. Reggie Rivers has a first down at the 36. Darren Carrington made the stop. Denver comes out trying to penetrate that run defense of San Diego that stops them pretty cold that first half.
I think that's when you find out who the real great coaches are. Third quarter numbers. After you faced a kind of a different offensive look, Arnsparger makes adjustments. Dan Reeves makes adjustments. Third quarter to me is always the most entertaining. That's where you find out who the coaches are.
It's like the second half in basketball, the first 5 minutes. A reverse, and it goes to Arthur Marshall. And this young man from Georgia with plenty of speed and burns it to the 48-yard line of San Diego. 16 yards on the play.
Okay, what Dan Reeves has said is, look, we're having trouble going through this defense. Let's try to get around it with something different. Perfectly timed. Looks like an old college pitch play. The lineman out in front, Wydell, is out there to do a good job of blocking. Well done. In a lot of teams' arsenal offensively, that's a trick play. For Dan Reeves, that's part of the standard fare with the Denver Broncos.
Reeves, a great player, as a free agent out of South Carolina for Tom Landry and the Dallas Cowboys. He could do everything. He could, that run pass option, the halfback option pass was his bread and butter. Dalton Hall. A Plan B acquisition from the Steelers wraps up Reggie Rivers.
Well, that was a fine tackle. They're still waiting for Dalton Hall to really emerge as the player they think he will be. But he's getting a lot of playing time today. He comes from the inside out and does not allow Reggie Rivers anything.
They give him about a half yard. Call it 2nd and 9. For the second half, 5 plays, 5 runs, 33 yards for Elway and the Broncos. Here a passing down, and Elway will accommodate. Gets away from Bert Grossman. And delivers it to Shannon Sharp down at his ankles, incomplete.
Dick, that was one of the rare blitzes you see San Diego run with Bill Arnsparger. Prefers not to use the blitz, but Seau came right up the middle. Here's 55. And they know it's an obvious pass set. You don't see this often. It's tied with a little twist. Reggie Rivers, 38, does an excellent job of getting at Seau's legs. And this is where John Elway may be the most dangerous, although he can't make the completion here.
And Mims, a rookie, didn't make a rookie mistake. He didn't hit Elway there and draw a flag. Third and a long man. Elway.
Seau
hits Vance Johnson, a first down, and it's the Elway scramble that does it.
Goodness. Junior Seau had him halfway down.
And Seau slow getting up. That was more frustration, I think, than anything else. And a flag down, and they'll call it back. Elway, with that eyes in the back of his helmet, escaped, but he has shown the league through 10 years. And Seau comes to the sidelines and in some pain.
Holding number 67, offense, 10-yard penalty, third down.
Doug Wydell, the right guard for Denver.
Ends up being Wydell. Excellent job by San Diego. They rush 5 here, Junior Seau being one of them. And you see Elway come underneath Grossman. And I think when Junior Seau really stretches out to catch Elway here, that's when he may have pulled his groin muscle again.
That was one of the fears of the Chargers, re-injuring, and they could really lose Seau for a long period of time. Third and long, the screen to Rivers, well set up, a middle screen, and Rivers finally toppled at the 40 of San Diego. That'll leave 4th and 2 for Dan Reeves, an 18-yard play.
Middle screens are difficult to run, Dick, because what you have to do is basically turn defensive linemen loose on your quarterback. Elway, a big, strong, and tall quarterback, can just kind of flop it over the on-rushing defensive lineman. Rivers makes a nice catch, but not enough for the first down.
Gil Byrd is the deep man for the Chargers. So from the 40, Reeves tries to pin San Diego deep in its own end. And Lilo Lang is the man who fielded the punt when Byrd ran away. That allowed Lang to field it in the air at the 6-yard line. And with that, a timeout.
Why did Hertz invent #1 club goal service? To beat the rush hour. See, every plane and everybody seems to land at once. But with goal service, there's no stopping at the counters and no paperwork. Instead, you go nonstop to your waiting car with your name in lights. Only Hertz has #1 club gold. The best reason yet why Hertz beats the rush hour. To Hertz, the rest of the day is a piece of cake.
Silver summer. Silver time, silver line, girl in the silver suit, look so fine, look so fine. Silver bottom, silver top, silver fish, silver wish, come from here, right from here. And it tastes so good. Cool light. It's alright here now. Cool light. It's alright here now.
The dream of a pure sports car has been kept alive by the people who race them. Those who believe in the simple thrill that only comes from driving a lightweight car with a lot of power. A car that car companies no longer made. But now, the new Mazda, the people who brought back the Roadster, announce the return of the pure sports car. The new RX-7.
Mazda, it just feels right.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Hertz #1 Club Gold. Hertz's fastest service, now in more locations coast to coast. By Coors Light, the Silver Bullet is the right beer now. By Delta Airlines. At Delta, we love to fly, and it shows. And by Mazda. Mazda, it just feels right.
A game for the Denver Broncos that would assure their position atop the AFC West. But should San Diego win, the West will be thrown into a scramble, and the Raiders charging hard after a terrible start and are currently leading the Dallas Cowboys up at the Coliseum. First down carry by Marion Butts out across the 10. Michael Brooks leads the Broncos in tackles again this year, makes the stop.
Now, last time San Diego played Denver up there, they rushed for 168 yards. Now, that was, of course, with Butts and Bernstein. Last week, Bernstein with 150 against Indianapolis. And today has been in the hands of Butts and also Eric Bieniemy. He's got 47 yards now.
Humphreys with the virus, cold, the flu, still having a good game, 11 for 15. Second and 7. Butts again. Breaking tackles and out to the 17-yard line, very close to a first down. Mecklenburg finally got his 235 pounds on the pile to bring down Butts.
Excellent young offensive line here from San Diego. They've played almost intact for 2 years. Harry Swain considered one of the top guys, number 72, Moten. Very young, so's Paul.
Well, the Sports Illustrated had polled some personnel directors and talked about if the free agency came and those that would qualify, the hundreds, pick your top 10, and Swain was on that list. That surprised a lot of people.
Yeah, he was a defensive end until 2 years ago.
Humphreys on 3rd and 3. So they look for the run from San Diego, and Anthony Miller has the catch. Another for Miller and a first down in front of Atwater. 21 yards.
We've already seen this play, the exact same play from the exact same personnel. You see Atwater, the free safety, not rotating out far enough. And Miller again makes a nice catch with a good throw by Humphreys. His 6th catch on the day. Now, this is zone. You can see the defensive backs looking in the backfield. Humphreys just able to gun it out there. Nice pattern run, well caught, nice play.
Yeah, Miller having a bold type game. 6 catches, 128 yards.
Oh, look at this.
Wide open, Derek Walker, the tight end. Only Dennis Smith to beat, and Smith gets him out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
Somebody leaves Walker alone completely. You see him there on the right. Humphrey picks it up beautifully, throws it right over the head of Michael Brooks.
59-yard rumble by the former linebacker at Michigan, 244-pound Derek Walker. First and goal, San Diego at the 2. And timeout called by the Broncos. So Michael Brooks saw Walker, the tight end, fly by, and a one-handed catch and a big San Diego play. Timeout by Reeves and company.
While the fluid styling of the Mazda 929 may be timeless, this generous offer from Mazda is considerably shorter. Now you can lease the 929, complete with dual airbags, anti-lock brakes, and European leather, for just $349 per month. So see your Mazda dealer today. Like all good things, this offer must soon come to an end.
Today, for the first time in half a century, America is not at war. And America's wartime economy is changing to a peacetime economy. But that change has brought fear and uncertainty. The fear of losing a job, of losing a home, the uncertainty of tougher economic competition from around the world. But with change comes opportunity. And my agenda for American renewal can be the bridge to the future. It provides a choice of quality schools so our children have the knowledge to compete. It provides job training so workers have the new skills to compete. It provides health care for all and controls spiraling costs so our people can afford to compete. And my agenda strengthens small businesses that create 2 of every 3 jobs so we have the new jobs to compete. Today, we stand at the threshold of a new era. We change the world around us. Together, we must do the same at home.
That big catch by the tight end Walker. He's here. Watch the edge of the screen. Left edge of the screen. Here comes the blitz. And Humphreys reads it perfectly. Just arcs it up there for Walker. Beautiful one-handed catch.
Dennis Smith, first player picked by Dan Reeves. Number 1 choice in 1981, saved the touchdown, 1st and goal, and there's Steve Hendrickson, number 34, lined up at fullback.
The human crescent wrench.
Humphreys fumbles the ball, twist into the end zone, touchdown.
Just the way we drew it up.
Quarterback fumble sneak.
Normally the fumble Ruski is not designed to go to the quarterback. This time he shows a little strength. This kid's 6'3", 230 pounds. Goes through the tackle of Dennis Smith. No slouch as a tackler and squirms into the end zone.
Yeah, very impressive 92-yard drive by San Diego in 5 plays. The key, of course, the 59-yard catch by Walker, the second longest play of the entire year for the Chargers. Carney's try for point. And San Diego leads 14-7.
Again, it's a straight lead dive. Humphreys never gets the ball cleanly. Finley bounces San Diego's way. He twists and turns into the end zone for a score.
So 2 of the teams that have trouble moving the ball. Chargers lead by 7.
Liberty Mutual Insurance presents Legends of the Game. As the expansion Tampa Bay Buccaneers' first ever draft choice, he waged a personal war against opposing players with a barely controlled fury. He prowled the field with a pirate's sense of justice. He plundered ball carriers and pillaged enemy passers. Who was this legend?
Back when all anyone could talk about was how fast cars could go, Liberty Mutual was thinking about how safe cars could be. So we began research on the safety belt, airbag, and anti-lock brakes.
There were 2 persons injured and 1 killed. The dead was James Byron Dean.
Leroy Selman had the physique to get physical and the spirit to break his foes. A true legend of the game.
The white zone is for a new...
We didn't design the new Mazda MX-3 to be like apple pie. Jalapenos were what we had in mind. Because if something's not worth having an opinion about it, it's not worth having. And with the only V6 in its class, the MX-3 is one hot chili pepper. Hey, you're not John Doe. Why drive his car? The new MX-3 from the new Mazda.
It just feels right!
Dan Humphreys, the touchdown pass to Anthony Miller in the first quarter, 38 yards, and then turns a fumble into a 2-yard score to cap a 92-yard drive. San Diego 14-7, and this man complaining that he was ill yesterday. Sammy Smith and Alton Montgomery are deep. Carney's spinner sends Montgomery too deep into the end zone. Touchback. Well, one of the top events of the sports year, the Breeders' Cup. $10 million at stake next Saturday at 1:30 here on NBC. Oh, the great names will be involved. Strike the Gold, Pleasant Tap, AP Indy. 6 championship races plus the Classic for $3 million to cap 4.5 hours of racing action. It'll be from Florida's beautiful Gulfstream Park on NBC 1:30 next Saturday. Elway changing the play. And hands off to Sammy Smith, who gets out across the 25-yard line. Junior Seau, another tackle, helped out by Stanley Richards.
Again, the Chargers defense staying with that 4-man front, 1 linebacker, 5 defensive backs. That's been Arnsbarger's choice throughout the game. Now they changed personnel.
There's got to be another one. 4 linemen.
4-1-6. Excuse me.
4-1-6.
I apologize. 4-1-6.
Occasionally a 7.
Yes. Sometimes they try to sneak in an 8.
I thought you went to the Madden School of Mathematics there for a moment. Elway to Sharp, intercepted by Gilbert. Bird. To the 32-yard line. The 8th time that he's intercepted John Elway.
Shannon Sharpe is the intended receiver. Bird, excellent coverage from the corner. They both played each other. He at San Jose State, John Elway at Stanford. And in college, Gil Bird never had an interception against John Elway.
But he's been tough on Elway in the NFL. And Elway told us yesterday, he's just so doggone smart. The 10 years, savvy, knows how to be in the right spot.
Timeout. We have a slight injury on the field for one of the officials.
One of the officials injured or ill, and so this timeout being taken looked as if one of the officials hit in the shoulder or arm as he's being helped off.
Charger trainers will attend to him. So will the doctors as best they possibly can.
I think it's Howard Slavin, the backside judge.
You know, the thing about Gil Bird, the young man has the ability to sense what pattern is about to be run. He's looking right into John Elway's eyes, and he sees Shannon Sharpe run the post corner, as it's called, and just drifts right back in there perfectly.
His 40th career interception. He's the all-time Charger career leader.
Watch what happens here. Here's the matchup right here. Bird does an excellent job of reading just about what's to happen. He's looking in at Elway, sees it, aha. And then great skill to get up there and make that interception.
From the 32, leading 14-7. Atwater blitzing, and the flag goes down as Humphreys definitely throwing the ball away.
Yeah, and again, he allowed Denver to just rush that line of scrimmage.
Intentionally grounding. You see the other scores from the earlier games, the finals.
Intentional grounding, number 12, offense. The enforcement of the penalty is the spot of the foul. It's greater than 10 yards, and the down counts. It's second down.
Now see what Wade Phillips was betting, turnover. San Diego's going to try a big play after the turnover. So let's go blitz. They go in a quick count. Atwater's right at the line of scrimmage. If the count's on 3, Atwater's 5 yards offsides. As it is, costs him a down and distance.
Down and distance, and the 10 yards from the spot where he threw the ball. So it's second down and 23. Ronnie Harmon in the backfield. Dumps it off to Harmon. Good move again by Harmon. This time it was Michael Brooks that was fooled. Lilo Lang finally makes the tackle. 18 yards on the play.
And the thing you gotta like most about Ronnie Harmon, Dick, is that he goes up the field. He really doesn't try to waste much time going left to right. He comes open, loose coverage here, but now, even though he makes the move, he's heading up the field. Lilo Lang gets him. Henderson gets him.
3rd down and 5.
Actually make that Braxton. Same play works here, Dick. Same play.
Down the middle, wide open. Derek Walker, touchdown. Derek Walker's 2nd career touchdown. 27 yards.
Well, you saw the man who made the interception, Gil Bird, on the sideline. And in both catches that Derek Walker has had today, 0 coverage. Just totally forgotten.
They obviously have caught the Denver defense not expecting Walker, primarily a blocker, to be a big-time receiver. But he has been today as Carney tries the point after. 21-7. Derek Walker's 4th catch. 104 yards for this tight end.
He goes by Michael Brooks, 56, right at the top of the screen there. I mean, totally busted coverage. Brooks is turning Walker over to someone else. There is no one else there.
Stan Humphries celebrating a 2-touchdown lead late in the third period.
Why can't van doors swing open instead of slide? Why do minivans handle like trucks? Why can't they feel more like a car? This is what the engineers at Mazda wondered when they designed the MPV. Because when you ask better questions, you tend to come up with better answers.
Why does your door do that?
The MPV from the new Mazda.
It just feels like...
The Postal Service would like to present 2-day priority mail. That's delivery into 2 days of up to 2 pounds for just $2.90. Remember, 2 days, 2 pounds, $2.90. 2-day priority mail from your Postal Service.
We deliver for you.
For pickup service, call 1-800-222-1811.
Hager's new 100% cotton pants solve a little problem our competition simply hasn't been able to straighten out. Hager wrinkle-free cotton, 100% cotton, 0% wrinkles.
From one of the most celebrated filmmakers of our time comes the most unforgettable love story of all time. Bram Stoker's Dracula, a Francis Ford Coppola film, rated R, at theaters Friday the 13th of November.
Pretty heady stuff for the San Diego fans. A 2-touchdown lead, and for Michael Brooks, time to try to assimilate 2 blown coverages as that man, Derek Walker, a 59-yard catch, beating Brooks to set up a touchdown, and then catches one of his own, 27 yards. Brooks again not covering him. They'll start at the 20 once again.
This motion affects Brooks, who is right here. Here's Walker. Walker is expecting help deep. This is a double rotation zone. The corner's up. You can see them. They rotate up. Brooks just lets him go. He's expecting a safety to be back there. I can score that one. If you can get it to me, Dick, I'll get it in the end zone.
You had your share. But Derek Walker had his second in his entire career. You know, we talked to him yesterday. He had a twinkle in his eye when we asked him, you don't catch many, do you? How many touchdowns do you have? 1.
We got some surprises for him, he says.
Elway. Little short cross-court pass. Shannon Sharp, who leads Denver with 28 catches coming in, has his first today. Stanley Richard, the hard-hitting safety, second-year man out of Texas, made the stop.
Haven't called his name much, but in your list of future superstars in this league, include this kid.
Dan Reeves high in his praise of Richard.
The way that they play defense today with a lot of 6 defensive backs, he's been sitting 30, 25 and 30 yards deep. And when you want somebody to support at the line of scrimmage, he's like Atwater and Smith.
Less than 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Denver trailing 21-7. Elway to Vance Johnson. How many times have they hooked up? First down at the 43. Richard made the hit. 18 yards on the play.
This is the one play that hurts the double rotation zone, Dick. Now you watch Bird. He turns Vance Johnson loose into the inside, expecting the safety, Carrington, to be there in coverage. The linebacker is supposed to be in the way. But the slant against the double rotation zone is always good.
Four wide receivers. Elway on first down from the shotgun. As a man, Reggie Rivers at the 48 of San Diego. That's 5 catches for Rivers, who had only 7 all season.
Chargers rush 5. You'll see Seau, 55, come up on the line of scrimmage. Rivers comes out of the backfield, circle route wide open. Everything just unfolds right in front of us. Richards makes the tackle. They rushed 5, had 6 in coverage, all in zone. Elway finds the open man.
The two men that are not expected to be high on the reception list. Reggie Rivers for Denver with 5, and Derek Walker 4 for over 100 yards for San Diego. Too tall for Mark Jackson. Gil Bird was in the area. Bird, a walk-on in college, left high school. He's only 5'7" and 155 pounds, and walked on for Jack Elway, John's father, who was then the head coach at San Jose State. Papa Jack now is in the Denver Broncos organization as an advanced scout.
He and Dick Nolan. Nolan does the defense. Jack does the offense for their next opponent.
Well, I'd love to sit behind them while they're watching the game.
Yes.
Elway out of the backfield. Rivers has another catch. Tripped up as he gets to the 41-yard line by Seau, who must be in double figures in tackles today.
Well, he has really gutted it out with his pulled groin muscle. You can see it right-hand side of the screen. He's trying to stay up with him. And he, when he extends himself, that's when that pulled muscle inside the thigh really hurts.
Another first down for Denver. 2 passes defended and 8 tackles officially for Seau. 2:49 left in this third quarter. That's the reverse that worked before to Marshall. Good piece of running down to the 36-yard line. Darren Sherrington and Gilbert, the tacklers.
I think once again, San Diego has done a remarkable job of giving a look defensively that's been hard for Denver to pick up. Arnsparger there, the old master, known as, we're going to play a 4-man front, 3 linebackers, little zone, and all day long today he's played a 4-1-6 defense.
Dan Reeves, his counterpart, calling the offensive plays. 2nd and 4. Away on the scramble. Oh, boy, he didn't go sliding down. He took the full hit from Junior Seau.
That's his former teammate, Darren Carrington, too.
Elway, in a moment of perhaps just showing toughness rather than wisdom.
John, big, strong, physical kid. I think he sees 29, says, wait a minute, yes, sir. He intentionally tries to put a hit on Carrington.
He's now past Terry Bradshaw as the number 8 rushing passer and is 2 yards away from passing his idol, Roger Staubach. But he really had to earn those.
Mr. Staubach was known for a few late game comebacks too, wasn't he?
The man who started late in the league. He was a 27-year-old rookie after serving his duty after graduating from the Naval Academy.
We did a thing for United Way one year in New Orleans. First time I saw Roger, I said, Roger, what do you want? How you doing? He says, fine, let's go work out. I got a football. I want to throw to you. This was in March. Let's go throw.
First down for Denver. It's been a good try for the Broncos. Sammy Smith sent spinning at the 29-yard line. Henry rolling and Bert Grossman, and Grossman is giving up. No, Grossman is at 10. Yeah, he's okay, but there's a fallen Charger. It appears to be George Thornton. Yes, it is Thornton, and that'll be a timeout. 1:02 left in the third quarter. Denver trying to take a bite out of the Charger lead.
Coors cut a non-alcoholic brew tastes so much like beer, it'll fool them out. For the taste of beer, let the cutter flow. Your body knows the difference, but your mind don't know. Oh, taste Coors Cutter. Your body knows the difference, but your mouth don't know. Oh, taste Coors Cutter. Your body knows the difference. Cutter tastes like beer because it's brewed like beer, but the mouth don't know.
Only Delta gives you more flights from over here to over there. Only Delta flies you non-stop to more cities from over here to over there. In fact, only Delta flies you non-stop to more cities in Europe than all these airlines combined.
Delta. We love to fly, and it shows. The world over.
Here. There. Everywhere. The DeskJet Portable. DeskJet printers from Hewlett-Packard. Make it happen.
The mind reacts to 2 pizzas for $5.99 with shock, disbelief, denial, and finally, acceptance. Now, Little Caesars 2 pizzas for $5.99.
Doozy doozy. The Oilers. The Steelers. A battle for AFC Central supremacy next Sunday.
Been a long time since Dan Fouts was the quarterback. 2 men, 100 yards plus receiving. There you see Miller and Walker both over 100 today. Wes Chandler and Charlie Joyner against the Steelers in '85. Meanwhile, it's Denver on 2nd down. And Elway going to the short stuff. Shannon Sharp with a catch, shy of the first down. Brings it to about the 22-yard line. Dalton Hall made the stop.
This young man right here creates real problems for a defense. You put a linebacker on him because he's like a tight end, 6'3", 230, and he can outrun linebackers. You put a defensive back on him, and he's big enough to screen the defensive back to make the catch. So he's turned out to be a very valuable receiver for John Elway.
His brother Sterling, a star with Green Bay, has 35 catches coming into today's action, 28 for Shannon. Elway again. Quickie out of the backfield. Seau gets Rivers, and it'll be close to the first down. It is first down, Denver. Impressive drive. Elway very patient as the final seconds tick away here in the 3rd quarter. And apparently that'll be the last play of the period. They'll start at the 20-yard line. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Tonight, a cop is killed and justice will become revenge.
You think you can just hang this on me like lights on a Christmas tree?
Inspired by true events in the Line of Duty Street War, NBC tonight.
The call comes down from Canada. Cold, crisp, clean. Friends come together to answer the call, to share the feeling. Molson Golden, Molson Light. Molson, answer the call.
Remember the last time we came to Chili's? You got the
chicken nachos.
Right, they were great, and then you had the
chicken fajitas.
Right, I remember how much you liked them, and I had the
grilled chicken.
Right, with the
fresh steamed vegetables.
Remember our waitress? Remember what you said to her?
Check, please.
That's right. That was at the end of our meal. Oh man, our first trip here. Oh, I'll never forget it.
It was yesterday.
That's right. Plus, I remember. Man, it was great.
This is the $825 billion question. That's how much foreign corporations operating in the U.S. took in one year. But 72% of them didn't pay 1 dime in taxes. Not 1 dime. And George Bush supports tax loopholes for foreign companies operating here. Supports them so much that he attacks Bill Clinton for wanting to close them. Bill Clinton wants to collect what foreign corporations owe and put the money to work to rebuild America. Clinton Gore, for people, for a change.
The Bill McCartney Show, Sunday nights at 10:35 on News 4.
Fans here at Jack Murphy's San Diego Stadium in a happy mood, trying to knock off the #1 team in the AFC West and position themselves as at least a threat to the others in this part of the conference. 10-play drive by Denver. 60 yards, taking them to a first down at the San Diego 20 to open this 4th quarter. 21-7, Chargers lead. Elway. Whoa. Stanley Richard about a foot from a critical pick.
Oh, you know, Dick, on that play, just to show you what kind of respect now Denver is showing for San Diego, they only had 3 guys in the pattern. That means 7 guys protecting John Elway. That's tough when you've only got 3 guys out in the pattern.
Donald Frank, who was burned by Mark Jackson late coming on. No one's gone off. Snap the ball, you get 5 yards here. Timeout called.
They got it.
San Diego had to spend a timeout. That's expensive business. Dalton Hall finally getting off the field.
Yeah, Seau was
First
imploring
charge
the umpire.
timeout, San Diego. This is a 40-second timeout. 40 seconds.
Well, that one really has to be charged to the coaching staff. Frank coming on so very late.
Yeah, Orange Parker is the defensive coordinator. He will kick himself for hours after the game. He does not want to make mistakes like that from the sideline.
How about next Sunday? NBC Sports presents more exciting NFL action. Early game, Houston and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh plays later today. Indianapolis meets these revitalized San Diego Chargers. Houston already a winner today. Those are the games here in the West on NBC Sunday next. 50,000 plus on a perfect Southern California afternoon. And the Chargers with 2 touchdowns in the third quarter to take the 21-7 lead. And now it's the Broncos. 2nd and 10.
Chargers staying with that defense. 4-1-6.
Seau bluffing the blitz. There's a dump off pass, and Rivers has some room. Frank does a good job to come up and deny. Only a 5-yard gain. It appeared to be set up for much bigger.
Now, one of the things that helps you when you have a lot of defensive backs in the ball game is great speed to get to the outside. Now, Rivers, he does the pirouette there. Doesn't trick anybody. You see Karts, the center, come out 72. Seau is out there. Frank's excellent job to hold that to just a 5-yard gain.
That's 8 catches now for Reggie Rivers, who is rested on 3rd and 5. And a 1st and goal is Vance Johnson. That's the bread and butter. Elway to Johnson, 10 yards. Donald Frank made the tackle.
Nice little out pattern run by Vance Johnson. Inside man in the formation, Gil Bird. And they got man under, and Gil Bird slips down. Loses his footing. Franks has to make the stop. First down.
4 catches for Vance Johnson, who missed the first 4 games because of a chest muscle injury. Johnson diving unsuccessfully. Gil Bird covering.
Now, I must tell you, San Diego staying with this 4-1-6. And with John Elway's running ability, this is a nice spot for a quarterback draw. Nice spot here for a quarterback draw.
And Elway loves to call that number.
Oh, there's no middle linebacker. This would work perfect.
Oh, my. Oh, my. Amos Alonzo Trumpy. Elway running it in untouched. You know what, I was just thinking that quarterback draw was really a terrific idea down there.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
And with that, he moves ahead of Roger Staubach, who ran that play pretty well himself as a running quarterback. So the Broncos and Elway back in it. Extra point to make it 21-14. That was quite a drive.
All right, watch Seau out here, and the great block here by the guard. He just steps back and right through. When Seau goes out in coverage, this is a lock. And John Elway runs it in perfectly. 21-14. They're getting in Elway country here.
July 1992. Oldsmobile redefines quality. The Oldsmobile Achieva went head-to-head against Honda Accord and Toyota Camry. In a 100,000-mile real-world test, the independent test results prove Achieva beat them both with lower total cost, which consists of maintenance, repair, and operating costs. Quality has been redefined by Achieva and the company that went far enough to prove it. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
fully conditioned, great-looking hair. Head & Shoulders 2-in-1. You get complete conditioners with our proven dandruff shampoo all in one. For what could be the end of flakes and the beginning of something great. Head & Shoulders 2-in-1.
The Allstate agent who helps insure your home can give you a hand with a plan for life insurance. Life insurance. Your Allstate agent wants to be your agent for life. You're in good hands with Allstate.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering. By the Diamond Anniversary Band. This year, tell her you'd marry her all over again. By your Allstate agent who wants to be your agent for life. You're in good hands with Allstate. And by the U.S. Army. Learn how to get an edge on life. Be all you can be.
John Elway, who has rushed for over 200 yards every year except his rookie season with the Broncos, and that was his 21st touchdown. He had 6 of them rushing last year. Carney again with a heavy right foot. And another touchback. Maybe the 35-yard line's getting too close. Maybe they ought to move it back to the 30. It was taking the kickoff return right out of the game. Tonight, Secret Service, eyewitness video. Then an NBC world premiere movie inspired by a true story in The Line of Duty, Street War, tonight on NBC, right after our NFL action. Bobby Ross looking for 3 in a row, and this was a game for credibility in Ross's verbiage. Chance for us to really start believing, and you sense that these Chargers are starting to feel comfortable in the Ross regime. Their lead cut to 21-14. Oops, Tragan was offside. Humphreys throws anyway. Might have been a free down, and Lewis fumbles as he's hit at the 31-yard line by Tyrone Braxton.
Probably a very smart play. Oh, drawing that. Sauché slow getting up. Wrong with his knee, but I would think that's a very smart play right now.
Whoa, Sauché throws a punch at Broderick Thompson. He kind of caught him on a blindside punch, and that should carry an ejection notice with it.
I think Sauché is saying that this guy chopped me on my knee.
And boy, they're still going at it. This is about as rude a rumble as we've seen for a while.
Bobby Ross is out there on the field trying to get everybody he can back on.
Especially his quarterback.
Yes.
Don't you get in it. Oh, one of the officials did, and it's Jerry Markbright who says, reading his lips, he's okay, but he got knocked down in the melee. Sauché limps off. He got a right cross on somebody, Thompson, I believe.
Well, they always get the second guy. They never get the initial hit. The flag is never thrown there. And Sauché knows that when you're standing right there and throw a punch in front of the officials, that it's probably an ejection.
Well, if that isn't, they invite mayhem. Sauché explaining the block. It's in the interior part of the line, so that it was obviously a legal block.
It's offensive lineman on defensive end. There's no such thing as an illegal chop block.
Markbright gathering 2 things, information and his own faculties. The difficult. These men are not overpaid. I mean, they've had to make tough decisions, and with the size of the people with whom they are occupying the field, they take a certain amount of physical risk.
Offside. Number 71, defense. Declined. Take the result of the play. First down.
And no penalty? What?
You got to be joking. Joe Frazier would have been proud of that punch.
Well, it's Bobby Ross a bit bewildered. I guess it's one of those, how do you sort it out? If you threw a flag on that, it's 3 on one side, 3 on the other. But Sauché wide open through a right hand.
I don't know how you can ignore that if you see the punch thrown.
That was an incident that would make hockey proud. I take that back. They are trying to clean that up. I mean, they've made some definite changes there. So they take the play. First down. It was an 11-yard play. And here comes Marion Butts. And there's some emotions running deep now on both sides of the line of scrimmage.
Soche out of the game. And Dronette, I believe 99 has taken his place. That's Steve Antonopoulos, the gentleman with the mustache and the bald hair there, the Denver Broncos trainer. Soche up and walking around.
Dronette, the number 2 pick out of Texas, seeing some duty. He has 1 sack this year. Second down, 5. Butts again. And stacked up shy of the 40, Greg Cragen, and Dronette in on the stop. We understand report from the Denver sideline. Soche's injury not serious, that he will return, that he was leg whipped is the report we get, and that's what upset him. Well, that is illegal.
Yeah, but that happens on 85% of the plays. I think he got upset because he got hurt after he got leg whipped.
Leading 21-14, 12 minutes to go in the fourth. Inside handoff to Harmon. Boy, did Lilo Lang come up along with Atwater to make the hit. And it appears it'll be a first down for the Chargers.
Now, there's a little more going on out there right now, Dick. You can tell.
Yeah, the game all of a sudden seems to be up a notch.
Yes.
Everyone moving quicker and more physical in their application.
There's this formation again now with 3 tight ends.
And they run out of it this time to Butts. Not much there. Well read by Cragen. First to get a hand on Butts, and then Mecklenburg to fill the hole.
You notice they're also going with the quick count, San Diego is. Mecklenburg, a guy who's played defensive end, defensive tackle, inside linebacker, outside linebacker. No matter where they put him, he's an all-pro.
A man who was a 12th round draft pick. Went to Augustana College for a couple years, walked on at the University of Minnesota, made a lot of phone calls. No one seemed that interested, so he just walked on with the Gophers. On 2nd and 7, Humphreys. Oh, flags go down as Atwater very nearly picking that one off, intended for Anthony Miller.
I think they got Atwater, too, with the hand on it.
They'll discuss the options here. No preliminary signal, and now Mr. Mark Bright.
Interference, number 86, offense. 10-yard penalty, second down.
Alfred Papunu, Weber State, tight end.
Yeah, now he wasn't the man out in the pattern. He was running underneath. Way underneath. He ran the pick and got caught, but he was a good 10 yards from that pass play.
Well, they'll mark off 10 to the San Diego 34. Ten minutes, 45 seconds left, final quarter, unless we have overtime. Humphreys to Harmon. And Harmon could not get away from Mike Kroll. Well, he's put a move on Mecklenburg, put another big move on a Denver linebacker Brooks, but he couldn't elude Mike Kroll, who was the AP NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year last season out of Nebraska.
Last year, too, was a big pass rusher, had a lot of sacks. But he had so many sacks last year that the offenses this year figured out we better put tackles and guards on him. Last year they were putting running backs and tight ends.
10 sacks last year, 1 this year.
That's not that he's having a bad year. He's been complimented, getting a great deal more attention.
Let me take that. 3.5 sacks this year, Bob Trumpy, and 1 forced fumble. 3rd and long. 20. And another timeout. So that's 2 spent by the Chargers before we get to the crucial time. 9:56 left in the 4th.
10 years. I still get butterflies.
Funny, she doesn't look married. I bet she cries or bites her lip.
Hello, stranger.
I'm hardly a stranger.
Well, you are late.
I know. You shouldn't have waited 10 years for this. Happy anniversary.
The Diamond Anniversary Band. Tell her you'd marry her all over again.
You sure can pick an appetizer.
When you compare Bravada's Smart Track to Explorer's four-wheel drive, it's easy to see who's in control of the situation and who's slipping up. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering. Up a steep grade, under slippery conditions, the Oldsmobile Bravada can beat the Ford Explorer. Even with one boat tied behind its back. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
Nipper and Chipper show us what the RCA home theater with SRS sound looks like. Now they show us what it feels like. Looks like. Feels like. Looks like. Feels like. Any questions?
Something's happening to Fridays on NBC. Something
incredible, unbelievable, fantastic.
The biggest stars, the best stories. Forget TGIF. This is TGIP.
Thank goodness. It's Perry. Perry.
Perry.
Perry.
Perry.
Go on.
Perry.
Perry.
Perry Mason Mystery Movies every Friday. That's all I need to know.
John Elway telling his defense, just keep them within a score. Give me another chance. 21-14. 3rd down and 20 as we resume action. Bobby Ross has only one timeout left. We'll see if that's critical later on. And a long way to go from his own 31 to get a first down. Kroll comes. Ronnie Harmon looking for a block. And Lilo Lang and Michael Brooks make the tackle at the 42-yard line, a gain of about 11, and the punting team on for San Diego. Well, Humphreys told us he's still learning the offense, although the benefit of being under the Washington system coming here where so much of the nomenclature was the same and the philosophy. But it appears the Chargers have a big league arm, that he's got a major league throw.
Does he ever have a big league arm?
Kidd, a high kick to Marshall. Fair catch at the 8-yard line. And a flag is down. 50 yards on the punt by Kidd. Holding against Denver, so they'll go half the distance from the 8. That means the Broncos will start from their 4-yard line.
Is it a little early for Elway heroics?
Well, 31 comebacks in his 9+ years, more than Montana or Staubach, Marino, Kelly, his contemporaries.
The most famous one, of course, was the AFC Championship game in Denver. Did you ever hear what Keith Bishop said about that, the offensive left guard? They go out in the huddle, and they're at their own 2-yard line. And somebody asked Elway, what'd you say in the huddle? He said, all I did was call the play. But Keith Bishop said, we got them right where we want them. And they scored.
That was one of the thrills for me as a sportscaster to call that game. 1st and 98 to tie and then to win in overtime. You look at the other scores and some surprises there. New England trying to beat Cleveland, and Indianapolis making it tough on unbeaten Miami. So from the 4-yard line, the crowd trying to help the defense. Grossman deflects the ball incomplete.
That was a screen attempt.
Bert Grossman, who's always had a love for exotic pets. He's tamed down as he's aged, now at 25 years of age.
He does an excellent job here. He stands up the offensive tackle. You see it's intended for Rivers. I like this present pet. I like this present pitch.
Well, he's got 2 Rottweilers and a Minor Bird. I asked him if the Minor Bird can talk. He said no, he can only bark. There's a reverse to Marshall. Boy, that's an interesting call down on your own 4-yard line, and he gets it out to the 10. Arthur Marshall, the most famous player in the history of Hepzibah, Georgia.
No argument there.
Dan Reeves finds himself 3rd down and 4.
Well, you can see how difficult it's been. A screen attempt on the first play, a reverse on the second play. They're just conceding. They're not getting much straight at the San Diego defense.
Jackson to the left, Johnson to the right, Marshall in the slot. Elway, incomplete, and deflected. Bird again. How about that? Number 9 against Elway. 20 games in the NFL against John Elway, and Gilbert has 9 picks. This one was a gift.
From behind the defense, Elway's got plenty of time. Carrington, 29, gets it in the air, intended for Vance Johnson. I have a suggestion for Denver. If possible, when they need another defensive back, acquire this guy. Just so he doesn't have to, he won't intercept Elway.
The Chargers leading 21-14, have it at the 18-yard line. Marion Butts struggling for 3.
Even though the Broncos have put 14 points on the board today, Dick, I think after the game, certainly not over, but they will say that it was an offensive struggle today. This is a vastly improved San Diego defense. Today, it stayed with one look. A 4-1-6 defense, played beautifully, executed flawlessly.
Elway said, along with his savvy, he said he also has such good hands, and he showed that on that play. Walker in motion. Butts 1 yard, and then Carl Mecklenburg.
I almost get the feeling that San Diego's playing for 3 points here. They don't want to take a chance of putting it up in the air.
7 minutes and 17 seconds left. A ton of time for Elway and Denver. Carney, the place kicker. Miller left, Lewis slot left. Walker in the backfield with Butts on 3rd and 7. To Lewis.
Boy, he was open too.
He had beaten Tyrone Braxton. They're just a step off on the rhythm of that pass. So Carney comes on for the field goal. That would give San Diego the 10-point lead. Carney missed today from 52. He's 8 for 13 this year. This one, 32 yards. And the Chargers have the lead by 10, but a flag is down. Hold on. Linesman has thrown a flag. And Denver pointing at the blue shirts.
Illegal formation foul. 6 men on the line of scrimmage. Offense. Number 72 was not on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Harry Swain was pulled off the line of scrimmage.
You've got to have your shoulders square to the line of scrimmage, and I think they're trying to tell us that the tackle, it's hard to see in there, did not have his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage and up on the line of scrimmage, and therefore there weren't enough men on the line of scrimmage.
So it's a 39-yard try by Carney. Check it, 37 yards, 37. Good. Boy, 2 cannon shots in 2 minutes. They haven't used that cannon much this year, or for the last several. 24-14 for Bobby Ross's Chargers.
Yeah, he wants to get back to Another delay is unacceptable. Yeah, exactly.
Ann Joyce is waging a war
Therapy can't wait.
against the high cost of workers' compensation
On
insurance.
my way to see a supervisor.
She fights for better medical care for injured workers,
He's ready. He's on crutches.
so they get back to work faster.
I'll let him do some phone work on sales.
Perfect.
You'd think she'd be the kind of person who'd make an insurance company nervous.
Good news. You're going back to work.
Actually, thanks. She works for one.
Wouldn't it be great if you could afford a luxurious mansion? For you and all your friends? Of course, the place needed some updates, like a bowling alley and a pool table. Naturally, you'd have an open house. Food, dear! With beer! Harold, do something! Icy, cold-filtered Keystone, Keystone Light, and Keystone Dry. Bottle beer cased in a can. Now, wouldn't that be great?
Oldsmobile redefines quality. Here's proof. Call 1-800-THE-TEST to get independent test results from a 100,000-mile real-world test of the new Oldsmobile Achieva against Honda Accord and Toyota Camry. Learn how Achieva outperformed Accord and Camry in total cost, which includes maintenance, repair, and operating costs. You'll even get a free video documenting the test. Achieva, quality redefined, from the company that went far enough to prove it. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
Tonight, from actual Secret Service case files, a botched robbery forces a desperate move.
Don't hurt my family! Don't make me!
An all-new Secret Service, NBC tonight.
John Elway continues to be terrorized by Gil Byrd, the Charger defensive back, and the 2 interceptions. The difference in the game, 10 points. This one returnable. Alton Montgomery, former Houston Cougar, has a crease and all the way out to the 35-yard line. Steve Hendrickson and others in on the tackle. Sean Van Horst and Deems May as well. Well, there's a talking bird. And he's been a star in that secondary. 40 interceptions in his career. #1 pick in '83. That was the year of the quarterbacks. '83. And he said, no, it was the year of the cornerbacks as well. Darrell Green, in fact, of Washington, picked just after Bird in the first round. Away underneath. Rivers having a career day catching the ball. He's had more receptions in this one game than his entire NFL career.
Dick going with the hurry up here. This is not the last 2 minutes, but in desperation for Denver.
Vance Johnson incomplete. John Van Horst on the coverage. 3rd down and 5 for Denver.
Now, if San Diego has an advantage in this against this hurry-up offense here, they've been in this defense all day long. They're not bringing in new people to face John Elway and his offense.
Denver Broncos 4-0 at home this year. They've won 14 of their last 15 at Mile High, but looking for their first win on the road this season. And there's the catch by Derek Russell from Arkansas, second-year man, 11 yards, first down at the San Diego 49.
You're going to be very loose in coverage, but you can see half of it. There's 2 defensive backs. There's 6 total on the screen. And Elway finds the man coverage outside. Blaylock on Russell. But San Diego will give him that 10, 12-yard completion there.
Prevent defense sometimes prevents winning. Whoops, looked as if the Broncos were offside. No flag. Elway almost picked off by Bird. No, this time it was number 25, Sean Van Horst. Saw the 1-2, and I thought Bird's in there again.
Bird was right behind him. Let me tell you something about the prevent, though. It's not just personnel. It's a mindset. When the coach says prevent, all you want to make sure is nobody gets deeper than you do. That's when teams get beat. You got to look at more than personnel to determine whether or not it's prevent. This is not a prevent defense here.
Elway 19 for 36 today. Over 200 yards, 1 touchdown passing, 1 rushing, 2 interceptions. Underneath, Mark Jackson breaking a tackle. And Jackson finally hauled on by Richard inside the San Diego 30. 21 Denver yards.
Well, that's another thing you got to do when you have single coverage in a hurry-up situation. You've got to make the tackle. Just a delay inside. And then Franks misses the tackle. You can't do that.
Elway going for 6. Got him in. Touchdown, Mark Jackson.
Amazing.
His second today. And again, a beautiful throw by Elway.
Now, why that cornerback bought the outfake is beyond me.
Bert Grossman down back at the line of scrimmage.
Denver not going to go easy today. Not a bad day for Jackson, huh?
His second touchdown catch, and it was Elway to Jackson at the end of the half. 2 quick plays that totaled 56 yards. The capper 32 in the touchdown. Another touchdown, 28 yards. As they attend to Grossman. It took Elway 1:32 seconds to go 65 yards in 6 plays. It's almost as if you need to go up and whisper to him, you got to hurry up. The clock is working against you, John.
Yeah. Now, the cornerback on this side, on the side where this pattern takes place, stops for some. Frank's 27. I did not see Elway pump the ball.
Well, Frank has been burned often in the last couple of years and has been under some heavy critical fire here in San Diego.
But there was something that drew Frank up that allowed Jackson to get right by him. I did not see a pump fake by John Elway. He just misread what the pattern was.
And Frank was beaten on the first touchdown.
Yes, he was.
To Jackson in the closing minutes of the first half. So with plenty of time, 5 minutes and 3 seconds left. Let's look at this again. A fan has run on the field, and that's why we've had a delay.
Okay, here again is Jackson, and the pattern is just up the sideline. But as you watch Frank drop, he stops right here. And Elway just continues to look at the receiver. Jackson goes right by him, and it's a relatively easy completion. Now, what makes him stop? He may just be reading that Elway stopped, I stop in the drop, but it was a huge mistake. Now, Elway did make the touchdown. San Diego certainly helped there.
24-21 if Treadwell can make this extra point. And so it is. Elway trying to rally the Broncos again as we go to Bob Costas in New York.
Well, Dick, talking about Elway's capacity for fourth quarter comebacks, here's a guy who's had his share, Dan Marino. He rifles this one 12 yards to Tony Martin. Pete Stoyanovich, however, missed the extra point, so Indianapolis is still within 3. A little under 6 minutes left. Miami 20, the Colts 17. Dick?
All right, Bob, as the Dolphins struggling to make it 7 in a row. And here, Elway and the Broncos in their own fight trying to capture a road win. They were thoroughly humiliated by the 2 NFC Eastern opponents, the Eagles and Redskins, lost to the Cleveland Browns. Just beat the Cleveland Browns without scoring a touchdown, and Donald Frank might have an interesting week ahead of him.
He was just being addressed by Bill Arnsparger, the defensive coordinator.
Nate Lewis deep. Well, we saw only ball returned was when he purposely skidded low. He'll root this one. And Nate Lewis settles under it at the goal line. Good coverage by Denver. He won't get to the 20-yard line. Lee Lo Lang, another tackle. He's had a good day.
Well, now San Diego's got to take inventory here. They're going to get the ball at their own 17. They have one timeout left. They lead by 3. Denver's got 2 timeouts. Their defense can stop the clock. They need a bunch of first downs. They cannot put the ball back in the hands of John Elway. That's pressure.
And Butts has not dominated this game on the ground the way he has in seasons past. And they come out with Eric Bieniemy, number 32, the second-year rusher from Colorado, who saw his first real duty. Carried the ball only 3 times as a rookie last year. But against Indianapolis in the last game, they had 52 yards rushing. Fake to Bieniemy. Throw underneath to Ronnie Harmon. No, it's Bieniemy, and Bieniemy takes it to the 26-yard line. Kroll and Brooks make the tackle.
Well, the Denver defense has done a good job in situations like this over the last several years. Stopping the opponent's offense, getting the ball back in the hands of John Elway. So in all those gut-wrenching wins in the last few minutes, you got to give a lot of credit to his defense.
Pickup of almost 9 on that play.
Be very deliberate here, Stan Humphries. Take a lot of time between each play.
Down to 10 on the play clock. Give the Bieniemy. Boy, ran over Atwater, and that's tough to do.
Good.
First down at the 31.
That's impressive. Atwater at close to 220 pounds. He just bounced off Bieniemy. They ran the tight end wham. You see the tight end coming in motion. Bieniemy goes outside. This kid is a little rock. And watch Atwater. You see him coming. He has a good approach to make the tackle. Whoop.
Wow.
Puts him right on his keister.
Mecklenburg secures the stop, but a first down at the 31. 3 carries, 12 yards for Bieniemy. He had, as I said, only 3 carries all last year. And here's another. Fumbles! That's the negative side, and Denver recovers. Michael Brooks. Bieniemy has had problems in college and with the Chargers holding on to the ball, and he took a rocket hit from Dennis Smith, the veteran, I believe, came up. No, it was Brooks who made the hit, and Dennis Smith who recovered the ball. A lot of Denver fans here cheering that play. That was a collision.
Brooks, the leading tackler on the Denver Broncos, really hammers him and knocks it loose.
Michael Brooks, 235-pounder from LSU, and that was a tackle by design.
Here comes the heartbreak side of the Denver Broncos.
From the 35, make it the 34. Plenty of time, 3 minutes plus. Elway's going to go for it on first down to Jackson. Intercepted. Is it count? Tony Blaylock. Yes, it does.
They're still talking, Dick. I'm not sure about this yet.
Blaylock right in the corner, so close to being out of bounds. The signal was touchback.
Yes.
Touchback on the
Okay.
play.
3 interceptions today of John Elway. Here you see the whole thing. Blaylock, second foot must come to... Whoa. Whoa. 12 months ago, That would have been a long, incomplete pass. The first foot wasn't even down inbounds.
And you couldn't even really make a case for him being ridden out by the receiver there. He was definitely going to be out of bounds with one of the feet, if not both.
Well,
things like that happen.
Yeah, but they don't need to be like that.
And I know that'll bring up the whole stir. And of course, we on television will keep replaying it to.
Well,
that the officials
came down with 1 foot in the end zone and was forced out of the end zone. Force-out was ruled. Consequently, the pitch.
Ruled that the contact did force Blaylock out, but he didn't get 1 foot down.
But I admire Jerry Markbright for at least explaining why they ruled that the interception did count. Dan Reeves beside himself. Yeah, they will replay that play a lot in Denver.
You bet. So fumble by Bieniemy. Next play, a controversial interception by Blaylock of the Chargers. 3 minutes, 10 seconds left. San Diego by a field goal. Butts is in there, needless to say. And Brooks is there to greet him.
You want to know why this defense is so good? I mentioned that Brooks is the leading tackler. The second leading tacklers are Atwater and Smith, the safeties. Third is Mecklenburg. Fourth is Craig, Craig in the nose tackle. That's why it's such.
Hager's new 100% cotton pants solve a little problem our competition simply hasn't been able to straighten out. Hager wrinkle-free cotton, 100% cotton, 0% wrinkles.
Alka-Seltzer Plus Nighttime now has a maximum strength cough suppressant and a maximum strength antihistamine, so you get the relief you need to rest without alcohol. Alka-Seltzer Plus Nighttime, tough medicine without alcohol.
Former Cleveland Brown Tony Blaylock with interception that goes San Diego's way. Final in, Dallas has ended the Raiders run with 3 in a row. 28-13 for the Cowboys, who are presenting themselves as one of the class teams of 1992 as the Cowpokes go up 6-1. Here, Denver in the lead in the AFC West with a 5-2 record coming in. San Diego winning its last 2 after losing the first 4. Second and 11. 1 timeout left for each side. Humphreys into the flat and misses Walker badly. He was being pressured by the rookie Shane Gronett.
Oh, he needs to collect himself here. They need a first down or 2. 2:57. That incomplete pass stops the clock.
Well, it's a break for Denver with only 1 timeout left. The running play they'd have to probably have spent their last time out.
Yes, you can't give Denver just half a breath, any space whatsoever. They'll rush through it.
3rd and 11. Ronnie Harmon in. Dump off to Harmon. He's to the 30, and that looks to be good enough to have. Yes, a Charger first down. What a big play.
Now this is where the quarterback takes over. He's making a very high percentage pass here. See Harmon fake like he's going to. Good move on 51 throw. Very well done. Now Harmon picks up the first down. 2:26 and the clock is moving. Now the quarterback has got to take over here. Very deliberate. He does not have to. Yes, he has to run a play before the 2-minute warning. But it should come in like 2:01. He's not.
Butts on first down. Finally ridden down by Brooks and Mecklenburg. And there's the 2-minute timeout. As the Chargers try to keep the ball away from Elway, leading by 3.
When you compare Bravada's Smart Track to Explorer's 4-wheel drive, it's easy to see who's in control of the situation and who's slipping up. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering. up a steep grade. Under slippery conditions, the Oldsmobile Bravada can beat the Ford Explorer. Even with one boat tied behind its back. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
Castrol GTX is the only leading motor oil that meets the world's toughest requirements for viscosity breakdown in every grade. This is the only way to get that kind of performance from any other leading brand. Castrol GTX, engineered for today's smaller cars.
There are two people who can raise your income and lower your taxes right now. You and your financial advisor. Call and find out how you can increase your spendable income with Nuveen tax-free mutual funds.
Make it clear. Make it colorful. Make it both. The DeskJet 550C. With DeskJet printers from Hewlett-Packard, it's easy to make it happen.
If you want to go places in any career, ask yourself, can I perform under pressure? Can I be counted on to get the job done? You can learn how in the Army, so when you're ready to take off, you'll know you can go far.
The Chargers leading by 3. 2 minutes to go. One timeout left for the Denver Broncos on 2nd down and 3. And a first down here for the Chargers would just about spell another disappointment on the road for Dan Reeves' Broncos. Elway itching to get another chance for a comeback in the final 2 minutes. Meanwhile, his counterpart, Stan Humphries, has had a big day. 349 yards passing. Butts hit by Brooks, and he drives on second effort to a first down, I believe. Marked down at the 41-yard line.
Boy, it's close, Dick.
They need a measurement. Yes, they will.
Put it in the hands of the guy who does not fumble, who has that great body lean.
Brooks made a perfect hit there to drop him 3 yards shy of where he finally landed. Meanwhile, a minute and 30 seconds to go in Miami, and Indianapolis is leading 24-20 against the Dolphins. With Rod Bernstein out for 6 to 8 weeks and maybe the year, it is a first down. Butts is carried for 76 yards today.
Okay, now the clock should start again. 1:44. As soon as they get the chains reset.
Denver uses the timeout right here, which they don't.
It's running.
So Reeves saving that timeout in case there's a turnover.
If you stop them on the first down, then you take the chance with the timeout on the second down. Hope you can get it back one more time.
5-4 on the play clock as Butts another carry. They go for the ball, but Butts covers well at the 37-yard line, and Mecklenburg spends the last time out.
Third and last charge timeout.
Denver playing for
40 seconds.
First place.
Timeout.
San Diego playing for credibility and respect. After 4 straight defeats, looking for 3 in a row. Now time for the Hager wrinkle-free cotton super play of the game. And it has number 22 written on it. Gil Bird, his second interception. This one just being alert enough. That ball deflecting off Carrington, off the helmet of Vance Johnson. And Bird, he has been Elway's demon.
Second of 2 today. 9th in his career. And I'm telling you, Denver ought to acquire this kid just so Elway doesn't have to worry about it. They're celebrating early. Plummer and Bird.
Nothing to stop the clock now unless San Diego helps them. Second down, 13. 1 minute, 15 seconds to go. And you get 45 seconds to play, and simple mathematics, unless you throw the ball incomplete or go out of bounds, San Diego can almost kneel down here and run it out. That's what they're going to do.
Oh, I mean, too many guys on the field.
All right, they'll reset it at 45 and wind it up again. Well, 40 now. So One more kneel down, and Dan Reeves will be biting his lip all the way back to Mile High, and he'll have a lot to chew on along with the fans and the press in Bronco land. That interception in the end zone being one of them. But San Diego's Blaylock denying Elway. The man who no one wanted a year ago, Blaze Winter. Part of the inspiration of this young San Diego team.
That's it.
Don't wander away. The excitement of that game down in the South Florida, Indianapolis, Miami. The Dolphins with a final chance. Charlie Jones and Todd Christensen down there. Soon as we officially spin the final seconds. The San Diego Chargers, 3 straight victories, and they're back in the AFC West 24-21. They defeat the Denver Broncos. And veteran Gil Burns, 2 interceptions crucial to the win for Bobby Ross. That's the story in San Diego. Let's go to the final seconds in Miami.